This video is all about how to have an engaging and reflective end of the school year. So, planning for the end of the year. Well, once tests are done at the end of the year, everyone pretty much switches off, and it is a real challenge to keep our students engaged. Well, I've got a solution, and I'm going to share a really fun idea to reflect on the academic year as a whole group, where you can really bond with your students and be assured that everyone will have a blast. I'm Katie, I'm founder of Teachers Resource Force, and I love talking about all things character, life skills, art and tech, and just general teaching things. So let's get right into it. So in this video, we're going to be covering a game that can be played with your whole class, which focuses on reflective questions about the school year, different ways that you can tailor this game depending on your available resources, which includes virtual and hybrid teaching, and 5 bonus creative and engaging ways to reflect on the end of the school year. So why should we gamify reflection? Well, if you're the kind of teacher who really cares about classroom community and helping students bond before they leave the summer, then this game idea I'm going to share with you will leave your students with fond memories about you and their classroom. And to me, it's all about how you finish the school year that matters, as that is the lasting memory. Playing this game with their peers, they will have a blast, bonding over the good times, reflecting on their journey this year, and looking forward to years to come. So let's look at how you can have a reflection game using tower blocks. So this end of the year reflection activity uses the concept of the game Jenga, where students build a tower and remove pieces, stacking them on top. The aim of the game is to build the tallest tower without it tumbling down, all whilst answering questions, reflecting on the end of another school year. It can be played as a whole class with just one set of coloured blocks, or you could split it up into groups if you have multiple sets of coloured blocks. So how does this game work? Well, it comes with colour-coded cards that have end of the year reflection questions on them, and the colours match this set of tumbling blocks perfectly. Now, we're all probably familiar with Jenga blocks. I mean, ultimately they are just blocks of wood, but I found an equivalent that it's just so much prettier, and they're from the brand Lewo, which can be found on Amazon, and I'll be sure to link those in the description below if you want to check them out. What I like about these blocks is that they're already colour-coded and they are really versatile to use for any game or activity in your classroom. I personally choose to not stick anything to my blocks, as that means they can only be used for one activity. I'm not a huge fan of the DIY blobs of ink and paint on the ends either, but these Lewo blocks are the way to go in my opinion, because they can be used for so many different games. So what is included with this game? So I told you there were different options for your available resources and your budget for how you want to play. So this can be used in 4 different ways to suit any budget, any needs, resources, preference. So it's really very versatile. We don't all have the luxury of endless colour printing at school. So what I've done is I've included mono versions in black and white, which are ideal for printed onto coloured paper instead, which I think actually also looks really snazzy. So option 1, you can use them as playing cards. So you will need to divide your class into groups. You print off the cards in colour or mono, whichever you prefer, and instruct each group to stack their tower as usual. So that's 3 blocks per level, with each facing alternate ways. Each group should have their own set of cards, and I suggest laminating them for longevity. Instruct each group to shuffle the deck and put the cards face down on the desk. And the idea is that every person in each group takes it in turns to pull the top card from the pack, answer the question on the card. So for example, if the card says pink block 5, then they choose any pink block from the tower, pull it out of the stack very carefully, and then place it on the top, trying to not knock the tower over. They should then place the card face down on a pile next to the other one, so as not to repeat questions. And the benefit of the cards is that it creates a sense of anticipation and more spontaneous responses, as no one knows the questions. If you want to add some competition, you can say that the winning group is the last to tumble, or in the case of a tie, the tallest tower wins. So in total, there are 54 different questions in this resource, which is more than the number of blocks in a pack. So there are definitely enough for 1 to 2 questions per student and enough variety to keep the game interesting. However, even if students were to repeat questions, every student will have a unique response. So it's something that can be played more than once as well. And there are different categories such as wellness and memories and subject-specific questions too. So they can have fun with reflecting on all kind of areas within the school year. Option 2 are question cards. So they are similar to the first option, but instead of using a deck of cards, which definitely involves a bit more preparation and printing and the cutting and the laminating, but it does create a great buzz, these question cards are all on 6x4 inch cards. Hopefully the tower you came with a coloured dice too, but if it didn't, it's not a big deal. Just get any dice and assign a number to a category or a colour. Check the colour. Choose a question to answer. However, they should try to answer a different question each time just to keep things interesting. Each group therefore only has 6 large cards instead of 54 smaller ones. It means all students do have access to all the questions beforehand, but generally they're too engrossed in the tower to spot the fun for themselves, and it's still just as exciting. But again, a lot less prep. Option 3 is a question mat. So if option 2 was still too much prep for you, you can use a much more simple and cost-effective option of having all the questions on one mat. So you only need to print 1 page per group in colour or mono, like this one. Option 4 is an interactive game. So if you don't want to print anything at all, or if you are teaching hybrid or virtually and physical objects are not ideal for this scenario, then if you have access to tablets, smartphones, or a class projector, option 4 is the one for you. You can use the interactive version of the game that can be played right from PowerPoint in 2 different ways. Firstly, your students can use any device, like their phone or a tablet or a computer or laptop, and 1 per group is fine, so you don't need to have every student with a device. And the game is played the same way as before, but they tap on the block to read the question. The dice is optional, as the categories of each colour can be chosen from to make it a bit more like a game show. And the final option, which is also part of the interactive game but a different way to play, is the most cost-effective way to play with no extra resources required aside from 1 screen and only 1 set of class blocks. Yes, you can play this as a whole class with just 1 tower, and here's how. All you need to do is split your class in half and have 1 person from each team take it in turns to choose a colour or category. The PowerPoint is the only way to see the categories to make it a bit more interactive. You may need someone keeping track of which questions have been answered to avoid repeats if you choose to. And the way to determine the winner is the half of the class who successfully places the block on the tower without it tumbling over. So what are the benefits of a reflective end of the school year such as this one? Well, reflection increases self-awareness, which is a key component of emotional intelligence. It can help students develop creative thinking skills. It helps them improve by analysing what they've learned and reflecting on how far they've come. It helps by sharing experiences because students can learn from each other. And finally, students can reminisce on their time together and bond over their experiences. So here are 6 ways that you can reflect on the school year in a fun and engaging way. So students can answer reflective questions in the form of a group game, such as the Tower Blocks example shared today. Bonus idea is a physical or virtual time capsule, so they can do journaling, images, videos. Idea number 3 is a personal yearbook, so they can collect photos and ask friends to leave comments of their favourite memories. Idea 4 is a My School Year in 60 seconds, perhaps using a popular TikTok or Instagram Reels trend. Idea 5, words of wisdom to students in the year below who will be entering the year they are currently finishing up. And idea number 6 is a digital journal or Google Form reflections so you can keep some data on your class's results too. So that's all for now. I hope you found this helpful. If you want to get in touch, here are all the social platforms I'm on. Choose your favorite, come over and say hi. And if you have any questions or comments, you can leave them in the comments section below. You can always email me at katie@teachersresourceforce.com. And if you want to access this game, I'll leave the links to that game in the link below as well. All 4 options do come included in one packet, so you don't need to download them all separately. Okay, so that's all for now, and I look forward to speaking to you next time. Bye.